My name is Samuel, and I'm 55 years old, though some days I feel like I've lived 100. I work as a janitor in one of those tall, shiny buildings in New York City, the kind that scrapes the clouds and hums with the energy of 1,000 busy lives. Every morning, before the sun even thinks about peeking over the skyscrapers, I'm already there. The city is still a sleeping giant then, wrapped in a quiet that few ever get to hear. I unlock the service entrance, the metal groaning a familiar welcome, and step into the vast, empty halls. My days are a rhythm of quiet tasks, sweeping, mopping, emptying trash cans that will be overflowing by afternoon, wiping down counters until they gleam. It's hard work, honest work, and it's kept a roof over my head for more than 20 years. I'm good at it, too. I know every creak in these floors, every temperamental light fixture, every secret spill that needs extra elbow grease. I take pride in leaving things better than I found them, in making sure the people who rush through these doors each day have a clean, safe space, even if they never notice the hands that made it so. Most days, I'm just a shadow, a quiet presence in the background, pushing my cart loaded with cleaning supplies, a ghost in the bustling corporate world. And that's okay. My dreams aren't about corner offices or big promotions. My dream is much simpler, much more important. To keep my wife, Clara, safe and comfortable. Clara is everything to me. We've been married for 30 years, and she's the sunshine in my life, even when the city sky is gray. But for the last few years, Clara hasn't been well. She has a chronic illness that makes her tired, and her body often hurts. The medical bills pile up higher than any stack of papers on an executive's desk. Even with insurance, the copays, the prescriptions, the endless tests, they drain every penny we have. Every extra shift I take, every holiday I work, it's all for Clara. I save every spare dollar, skip meals sometimes, mend my old clothes until they're patched beyond recognition, just so she can get the care she needs. The weight of it all feels like a constant ache in my chest, heavier than any trash bag I lug to the dumpster. My biggest fear, my internal nemesis, is that I won't be enough. That despite all my efforts, all my sleepless nights, all my aching joints, I won't be able to provide what she truly needs. The fear of losing her or seeing her suffer because I couldn't earn enough, that's what keeps me awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the city outside our tiny apartment window. Sometimes I feel invisible, not just at work, but to the world. Like my struggles, are too small for anyone to notice amidst the grand symphony of New York City. I tried everything I could think of to make things better. I started taking all the weekend shifts, even the late-night ones, pushing my already tired body to its limits. I learned how to fix small things around the building myself, thinking I could pick up extra handyman work. I even tried selling some of the old tools I had inherited from my father, just to get a little extra cash. I hoped that if I just worked harder, ignored the fatigue, I could outrun the medical bills that seemed to multiply faster than dust bunnies in a neglected corner. One particularly harsh winter, a huge storm, unlike any I'd seen in years, hit New York City. It wasn't just snow. It was freezing rain, then sleet, then more snow, and the wind howled like a hungry wolf through the canyons of the buildings. Most of the office workers stayed home, but I couldn't. The building still needed to be maintained, especially with the risk of burst pipes or power outages. I bundled up in every layer I owned, my old bones protesting with every step. The storm brought a new kind of chaos to the building. Water seeped in through the window seals, leaving puddles that needed constant mopping. A small pipe burst on the 17th floor, making a huge mess that had to be cleaned immediately before it caused damage to the offices below. I worked for 2 straight days, barely sleeping, just cat-napping in my small janitor's closet, curled up on a stack of clean towels. My body ached in places I didn't even know existed. Every muscle screamed in protest. Then the worst news came, a call from the hospital. Clara's condition had worsened slightly, and they needed to run another expensive test, one our insurance might not fully cover. The amount they quoted made my stomach clench. It felt like a punch to the gut. I was already so far behind. My savings account, which was supposed to be our safety net, was practically empty. I was standing in the middle of a deserted office floor, surrounded by the remnants of the storm, a puddle here, a trail of slush there, and I just wanted to sit down on the cold floor and cry. The building felt vast and uncaring, mirroring the emptiness I felt inside. I closed my eyes, picturing Clara's tired but brave face, and felt a wave of despair so strong it almost buckled my knees. I had nothing left to give. I was old, tired, and felt like a complete failure. What was the point? My efforts were just a drop in the ocean of our problems. For the first time in my life, the thought of simply walking away, of giving up, felt not just like a possibility, but a desperate, appealing escape. It was late even for me after 3 full days of non-stop work during the storm. My boots were heavy with melted snow, My uniform was damp and my spirit felt just as soggy. I had just finished clearing the last of the slush from the main lobby, the giant glass doors looking out onto a city still blanketed in white. My back was screaming, my eyes gritty with exhaustion. All I wanted was to go home, even if it meant facing more worries. I pushed my cleaning cart down the long, empty corridor towards my small janitor's closet, the wheels squeaking a mournful tune. I opened the door, ready to stash my mop and bucket and call it a night. But what I saw inside made me freeze. My closet, usually a cramped space filled with mops, buckets, cleaning solutions, and a stack of old newspapers, was utterly transformed. It was filled with flowers, not just a few, but dozens of them. Bright red roses, sunny yellow daisies, elegant white lilies, all arranged in a beautiful, vibrant riot of color. They weren't in fancy vases, but in water bottles and repurposed coffee cups, filling the small space with an overwhelming, sweet perfume. On top of my old metal shelf, nestled among the brushes, was a small, cream-colored envelope. My hands, usually steady, trembled as I picked it up. Inside was a simple card. It read, "To Samuel, thank you. We saw your incredible hard work during the storm. You kept our building safe and clean when no one else could. You are appreciated more than words can say, from all of us." The card was signed by dozens of names, squiggled in different handwritings. My vision blurred. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. All those days of feeling invisible, of believing my efforts went unnoticed, of the despair for Clara, it all evaporated in that tiny closet, replaced by a warmth that spread through my chest, chasing away the cold and the exhaustion. They saw me. They truly saw me. It wasn't about the money or the praise or even the flowers themselves. It was the simple, profound act of being recognized, of knowing that my quiet dedication, my relentless effort, had touched someone enough for them to do something so incredibly kind. It was a lifeline thrown just as I was drowning. It reminded me that even in a city of millions, even in the coldest storm, human connection, human kindness, could bloom in the most unexpected places. I gently touched a petal, the softness a stark contrast to the rough edges of my life. That night I didn't just go home. I carried a piece of those flowers, a piece of that unexpected hope with me. The next morning I walked into the building with a lighter step. The flowers were still there in my closet, a fragrant reminder. I started greeting the office workers by name, not just with a nod, but a genuine smile, a small conversation. I realized that my previous solitude had been partly my own doing, a shield against my worries. Now I found joy in these small connections. The kindness I received became a seed that planted itself in my heart, urging me to pay it forward. I started bringing homemade cookies for the night security guard, left friendly notes for the cleaning crew on the next shift, and even helped a new, much younger janitor learn the ropes, sharing tips on the trickiest stains. I didn't just clean the building anymore. I nurtured it, and the people within it. The flowers also gave me the courage I needed to face Clara's situation head-on. I finally reached out to a social worker at the hospital, something I had been too proud and too afraid to do before. She helped us navigate the maze of medical bills, finding a charity program that significantly eased our financial burden. Clara's condition stabilized, and while she still has her bad days, we now have more hope, more support, and more time together. We even started taking short walks in Central Park on my days off, something we hadn't done in years. The city, which once felt so overwhelming and indifferent, now seemed to sparkle with possibility. I still keep one dried rose petal from that bouquet in my wallet, a tiny, faded reminder of the day my closet bloomed. Just last week, I saw a young man, barely out of his teens, looking lost and defeated as he struggled to push an overflowing recycling bin. He was one of the new, temporary cleaners, and I remembered that feeling all too well. I stopped my cart, walked over to him, and without saying a word, I just helped him push it. When we reached the service elevator, he looked at me with tired, grateful eyes. "Thank you," he mumbled. I just smiled, clapped him on the shoulder, and said, "We all need a little help sometimes, son. Keep going, you're doing good." As I walked away, I saw him standing a little taller, pushing his cart with renewed purpose. I realized then that the kindness I received didn't just change my life. It taught me how to change someone else's, even if just for a moment. And in this bustling, beautiful, challenging city, those small moments are everything.